Hi,
I found
everybody.
this little guy was on sale, you know.
All right, everybody. Y'all ready to learn something cool?
We're ready.
All right, so first off, I want to show y'all something pretty cool. So y'all let me know if you think this is cool, because I actually think this is super interesting.
I ain't got you.
No? Are you not entertained?
Do we think what is cool?
Look, I'll show you again. You think this is cool?
The ability to walk?
Well, to walk on 2 feet, I think it's pretty cool because, you know, we're actually really unique. It's only like us and birds that walk on 2 feet, and we don't have feathers. We got weird naked skin. So I found this so interesting that I ended up doing a lot of research on this to figure out, why do we walk on 2 feet? Why do we use tools? Why are we so weird compared to every other animal? So in my research, I asked the question, how did we get this way? So I can guarantee you that no lone Australopithecus stood up and started chasing down zebra, bashing their heads with rocks. This was a long tale of evolution, and it began about 8 million years ago. So Ken Sayers found that 8 million years ago there was a common ancestor of Homo sapien and Pan. So you may not know what Pan is. That contains chimpanzees and bonobos. But Homo sapiens contain all of the things you know as Homo. That's humans and ergaster and habilis and whatnot. But when I was doing my research, I found 8 million years really difficult to conceptualize. It's such a big number because I live such a short lifespan. So the way I found to figure it out is average human pointer finger is about 3 inches. Average human lifespan is about 79 years. So if you count in human lifespans in the size of a finger, the common ancestor of humans in age is 4.8 miles that way. So it's a pretty long way off. But, so there was Hughes and Jones, they found 3.7 million years ago, that's 2.2 miles that way, that there was a Homo called Australopithecus africanus. It technically wasn't a Homo yet, but it would evolve into the later species of Homo. So this was the first truly bipedal animal, and there is speculation that it may have used tools, but there is a stark lack of archaeological evidence, so it's generally considered that they did use tools. And then, about 1 million years would pass, nothing would really change, and then came along a newcomer, Homo habilis. So 1.7 million years ago, Homo habilis, or actually it's 2.3 million years ago, excuse me. So that's 1.4 miles that way. He was the first true bipedal tool-using animal. And Guillemette found that not only did he use tools, but he tinkered. And what tinkering is taking your tools and improving upon them and adding to the cumulative knowledge of your species, allowing you to advance as a species. And Homo habilis, yeah, he was pretty cool, you know, walking around, strutting around like a cool guy, using tools, but he didn't have it all. He didn't have sweat. He had dense hair like we see with chimpanzees and other species of Pan. So 1.7 million years ago, there was the evolution of Homo ergaster and the Neanderthal. And that's about 1 mile that way. So what they had was composite tools. And what a composite tool is they moved past just tinkering. They started putting more materials together. First composite tools were probably spears, just to stick with a rock. It's 2 things composed. So they had a lot more time, and they had a lot of help from their predecessors in developing this tool ability. It was also found by Guillemette that they were probably the first homos to ever use fire. So what they did have, and what really sparked evolution into what we know today, humans, is sweat. And yeah, what does sweat really have to do with human evolution? Well, at this point, with Homo ergaster and Neanderthal, we were naked, sweaty, bipedal, tool using, running machines. And the reason that's important is because one of the most nutrient dense foods that you can get a hold of is meat, in the form of meat, animal organs, and bone marrow. So the reason that's important is because when you can sweat, you can actually cool yourself effectively while running. For instance, horses, they can sweat, but they actually have to stop to cool themselves. Dogs, you may know, they pant, but they have to stop to pant and cool effectively. Us, on the other hand, we can run them down, then we can make an easy kill with a knife. So, for a long time we scavenged, and Ruxton found that this was probably the most common technique for acquiring meat, but as we evolved more and more sweat glands, pushed our hair out, we had naked skin, the ability to cool ourselves, we were able to acquire meat more readily. So this is what eventually caused us to become what we are today. And today, we're Homo sapiens. It was a long tale of tool development, walking on 2 feet, and being really sweaty. So I hope now you can see how interesting this really is, because I think this is super cool in the animal kingdom. And plus, we look really weird. Cover me in feathers, and I'm gonna look like a big chicken. So, thank you for your time, and thank you for your attention. And seriously, does no one think this is cool?
No,
Come on.
I wanna go check it.
Does anybody have any questions?